I did my speech on the poverty situation in Fabens, Texas. I titled it Education Over Poverty. I gave myself a total score of an 89.5 out of 100. For my introduction, I gave myself a total score of 14. I felt like it was original and I tried to make it motivating. And it was important to the audience that I was talking to, since most of them are residents in Fabens, Texas. I tried to make it as personal as possible by talking about how I knew people who had gone through that, although I didn't know at the time. And I tried to make it creative, and I tried to use powerful language because I feel like poverty is something that you need to be powerful about and creative about because it's such an important topic. For the body of my speech, I gave myself a total score of 26.5 out of 30. I felt like my main points were clear and complete and supported my thesis. I felt like I did use a variety of supporting materials and I cited them all. I tried to make them appropriate and I tried to make the transition smooth and I tried to use the appropriate language for everything. And I felt like it did flow very well, and I felt like it flowed from my introduction and into my conclusion very good. So for my conclusion, I gave myself a total score of 14 out of 15. I felt like I used the right kind of language to end it because it's a call to action. I felt like I tried to make people see how they could make that action and why it was important for them to do that. And I felt like it closed well and it was interesting for the audience. For my delivery, I gave myself a 21 out of 25. I felt like I did keep eye contact, although I did look at my note cards a few more times than I'd like. I don't know if I used my voice very well, but I tried to do that this time. And I did try not to rely too heavily on notes, although I did rely a little bit on them. So I gave myself a total of 21 on that one. And for my overall impression, I gave myself a total score of 14 out of 15. And I did feel like it was a genuine contribution to the audience thinking and their behavior because they all talked about how interesting it was, and the fact that although many of them are residents in Fabens, didn't know themselves many of the facts that I talked about. And so they started thinking about that, and I felt like it was all relevant to the audience. And like they can take this away and try to do something with that information. So I felt like my speech total gave myself an 89.5 out of 100.